We're live. Hey, Chef.
Hi, how are you, Laurie?
I'm good. So I'm in the United States. Martin is in Austria, but we really wanted to talk to you guys today about stress free cooking and intuitive cooking. So, Martin, can you give us a little idea of understanding what stress free cooking is? Because I think a lot of people struggle in the kitchen, and that's kind of maybe what's keeping them away from actually being in the kitchen and cooking those healthy meals.
So I think what you're really dealing with is as chefs, we are used to cooking for 100 people, 200 people, in my case, catering to 1,000 people a day, 7,000 over 3 days. So you get to learn a little bit more and more each time you do it, how you can manipulate the stress level, right? And we have a magic word in the kitchen. Many of you have heard it probably before. It's called mise en place. It's an old French term. Generations of chefs have used it, but it still functions today. Forget all the modern things and technology. What you need to do is mise en place. What does it mean? Everything in its place. And
Mhm.
that's the magic word.
Okay, so everything in its place, mise en place.
Mise en place. That's it. That's the magic. You don't need to know anymore. We can turn off. We're done.
Yes,
Maybe I should explain it.
yes, maybe what does that mean? Because I have a lot of things that have a place in my kitchen now. If they're in the right place, I don't know.
Okay, so we're looking at three factors, and I show this in this video series that we're doing in the class. One is actually how you set up your kitchen. So I've built 7 kitchens and then including a chain restaurant named Borlée. If anybody is here from Florida, go to Borlée. I was the opening executive chef for that corporate chef. I helped them organize the kitchen. I came in halfway to organize the kitchen. And then, in addition, of course, I was consulting chefs for many, many years with the Tim Gannons on there and Chris Gannon. But you can learn so much from these restaurants. It's unbelievable, right? Why? Because what they're doing is they organize every hand movement.
Mm,
And a very simple trick for everybody who's listening. One great way to do this is you figure out what you do most in your kitchen. For some people, it's breakfast. For me, it's onions. I I cut onions all the time. Okay, so if I cut onions, if that's my big deal, then let's say I put it. Try to find the camera. I put my onion in one corner, close to me, so I can stand here and I can grab it. Then I cut it on a cutting board right next to me. And then
mhm,
I have the garbage container right next to me as well. Okay, so
okay,
I move the garbage container where I need the onion peel to go,
okay.
or a stock pot where the onion peel goes. Okay, so find the thing that you use the most in your kitchen
Mm,
and place everything around it precisely how you need it so you don't have to move at all. I don't want you to move a step. Okay.
okay.
And once you're done with that, then you do the second most used item. And so you go through in professional chefs 100 items. Okay. So you got to, that's how you plan it out. And that's how you save a lot on labor costs and whatever. And then as home cook, you can save so much stress movement you will not believe. It will change the way you cook
Mm.
entirely. Right.
Well,
So
just
pots,
make it clear.
pans, everything.
So it's just night, but so like if I do like my smoothie every morning, it's having my blender and the fruits that I would be using if they're not in the freezer or greens or whatever. I need it like right there. Anything I'd add just in that
Exactly.
general vicinity. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. And many times it's just moving this one kitchen equipment over. Right. So people who don't think about that, they have the blender over on the far side of the kitchen. And so now they got to run, 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 right? But if you do it this way and you put your blender right next to where your fruits are, and that's your thing you cook the most with, it will change it so drastically. Like all of a sudden in the morning, you're going to be relaxed all of a sudden. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
what happened? Well, you put it exactly where you want it, right?
Right.
So the second thing that chefs do is shopping. So in my case, I worked seasonal in Aspen. Okay. So we have 3 months, 4 months on, and then I close the restaurants. It's very, very intense. It's super hard to do this.
Yeah.
And you have to plan 4 months in advance.
Wow.
Okay. So I do, for example, I do a party of 600, 2,000, and then I did 7,000 at the end in September. By the time I open in May, my restaurant, I have already everything lined up for what I do in September.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So, so for the home cook, what does it mean? Well, at least think 1 week in advance, but a month is much smarter.
Hmm,
Okay. I would always, for home cooking, I would always advise anybody I would talk to, think at least a month, think a year, right? So there's some items you may want to keep for a long time. I don't know. Maybe some people want dried beans or something. I don't know. But most items you want to have rice, beans, have it like 2, 3 months or something. Okay.
true.
Um, then have dry goods in general, the spices, right? Go shopping one time, get the best quality you can. Change them 6 months, a year. You shouldn't have spices much longer than a year.
Okay.
But go to a good quality store, write a shopping list, shop the dry goods.
Gotcha.
That's the key, right?
Okay.
So get your vinegars, get a good vinegar and stick to it. That's my thing, right? I spend a little more money, but I get a good vinegar. So, and then the third step of the mise en place, right? So this is everything on its plates on the dry storage, if you will, right? But the third step of it is equally important. When you cook, you would want to have everything out on your table.
Mm,
That sounds crazy at first, but I tell you, you grab a big pocket or whatever you have, right? And put all your foods in there.
hmm.
Walk to the refrigerator and you pack everything from the refrigerator. What people do wrong is they go to the refrigerator, open the door, close it. Get one item out, right?
Hmm.
No, 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 no.
Right.
grab, grab a big container, get everything out of the refrigerator,
Yep.
put it next to where you're going to cook. Get
Yep.
all your spices one time, right? And get all the other ingredients.
Got it.
And then all of a sudden it's stress-free cooking. It's amazing that little technique, how much change it makes in your cooking.
So
Okay.
you're just saying put everything in its close to its place. You're gonna have your spices, your dry goods. You're not running low necessarily, like maybe have every 3 months you get so many dry goods or whatever it is. And then you go to the freezer. So if I'm making my smoothie, I have a big bowl that I have. I can use that big bowl. I can put my 3 frozen fruits, my other greens, and my other veggies that I put in there, put it all together, walk to my station that has already got my blender and my little utensil thing that I use that's already there, including my soy milk and anything else that I might put in my smoothie, or if I'm making breakfast, maybe it's my oatmeal and my fruit, and the cutting board would be there if I'm cutting up a banana or cutting up something else that people put in there's oatmeal, but it's all right there. Or maybe if I use like, for example, a flaxseed and it's not ground, I have a little coffee grinder that I throw in my flaxseed and it grinds, but it's all right in that same space, right? Like a coffee station almost, but it's for whatever your meal that you're doing.
But
Go ahead.
I would point out, so with the flaxseed, right? I don't know how you do it, but in my case, I actually do it pretty much every week or so. I have one small container that lasts me for a week.
Okay.
Okay, because I use like a tablespoon every day, right?
Okay.
With my wife, so it's 2 tablespoons a day. So I have a perfect container for 1 week. I grind it one time, maybe 10 days, and put it in the refrigerator or the freezer if I have freezer space, right?
Okay.
Because the omega-3 fatty acids, if you leave them out warm, they don't do so well.
Yeah.
Same with nuts, right? So if you buy a lot of nuts, you would want to actually chill them down and they will last you much longer. But that's part of the mise en place you want to do in big batches.
Perfect. And we teach this in our culinary healing program that we've just launched. You might have seen it as Doc and Chef, but we really wanted to really bring out what we're doing is we're taking the skills and art of culinary mastery, like Martin's bringing, to the art of healing. And that's where you get the science from my side and do lives. And there's whole course on how to get going. But we'll put the link here at the post. I couldn't put it on the live, but I will repost this a little bit later. You guys can see the link. But it's a lot to learn. But the important thing too, I think what I am really excited about is because I always tell people, yes, I can cook healthy, but they're usually the same recipes. And some people are fine with that. Others are like, I need variety and spice of life, but they have to find the right recipe. They're like, do you have a good recipe for this? But Maureen, can you share what you mentioned as intuitive cooking? Because at the end of the program, like the end of a month, we really want to, it's like teaching people you can give someone a fish or teach them to fish metaphorically that would be a similar thing, right? So we're not just giving you recipes to follow to have an outcome of weight loss and metabolic health, but it's really the intuitive cooking skills that you can now go forward and create your own cooking without necessarily being bound by a recipe, right? You have certain things. Can you walk us through what that looks like?
So I think the key to understand here is for anybody who wants to participate in this 1 month program, it's really intense. We have like so many wonderful things lined up for it. And then especially because every week is a little bit different. So for everybody to stay ahead, we do big batch cooking for us. That's the first key of it. And so we're going to teach you different techniques with different dishes and just make a big batch what you like. That's the first thing, right?
Right.
Cook the things you like to eat. Is it Asian flavor, this or that? That's the first thing, right? Make a big batch, have something in the refrigerator, have something in the freezer, right? After that, we're going to go into intuitive cooking. And so that's a different cooking method. So one is recipe reliant. The other one is tasting reliant.
Hmm.
So you have to turn a little bit. I'm going to teach actually, I'm going to do videos, a video series on how to taste. It started all with the master sommeliers, right? So anybody who watches me already on Substack knows they have probably seen or should see at least the sommeliers or the life lessons from two master sommeliers. One of them is Bobby Stuckey, the chef restaurateur of the year from James Beard. So
Okay.
I got to know Bobby Stuckey it was it 96 or whatever, right? Way back, right? And we were just trying to make a go of it in our career, right? But back then, we would taste wines together and just try to figure out, well, what does it smell like? And how do you identify by smell alone the
Wow.
food? Right? So, and the same thing I adopted in my cooking later on. So
Mm.
it's already the first step is actually to smell something. So people don't do this anymore, right? We have lost our sense of smell because everything is MSG and deep fried, and everywhere you walk around all over America. In Austria, it's not any different, by the way. Okay,
Yeah.
we have like these weird MSG flavors going on everywhere, and so we have lost our sense of smelling a little bit, right?
Huh. Okay.
And I'm going to teach people and guide them through first off what I learned from these master sommeliers. Jay Fletcher is the other one. It's really, really exciting what we have, how knowledgeable they are, right?
Right.
It's really, really hard to become a master sommelier, by the way.
Hmm.
But I spent years and years with them. And in that process, I changed my cookery because now all of a sudden I smell my food first before I eat it, then I taste it. And we all go on Instagram and we check out all these great videos, right?
Right.
And so everybody, like, they mix something up, they put it in their mouth and they go, oh, delicious, right? It's like you haven't even tried the food yet. Your
Right.
taste buds Your taste buds don't tell the story within 10 seconds. They take sometimes a minute before you get all these nuances of flavors. Right.
Hmm.
So you got to like stand there and actually experience the little things as they develop in your taste buds. And then you get the allspice. And in the back of your mouth, you get more and more flavors, right? If you do it the right way.
Right.
For us, you got to cook the right way, right? So you have the obvious sweet, sour, umami, and bitter. We know all that. What we're doing goes way beyond that,
Wow.
right? What we're going to do is more what I learned from the master sommeliers. I mean, I'm going to actually do this in the cooking class.
So this is all going to be in our culinary healing
Oh,
community.
yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You guys,
I'm excited about that. Yeah.
I'm going to be learning with everyone. I'm going to be cooking. I'll be sharing with you guys what I'm doing. And I can't wait. Like, it's like the science is so like, oh, it's so easy. People can read about it. This is something, this is a really unique opportunity. So anyway, I'm really excited. Maybe I'm just excited. I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to be a little bit selfish here. It's like I'm super excited just even for myself, but I'm obviously excited for everyone else. But I'm really, truly, I can't wait. I know,
Yeah.
I can't wait.
You know,
Anyway,
it's a joy for me too. It's so nice to be passing that on, right? I mean, yeah, at this stage in my life, there's nothing better I can think of to just pass on what I learned from these masters sommeliers and from other great chefs. I worked with Wolfgang Puck and I worked with really, really good chefs, right? But
amazing.
so it's always a learning curve in this business. So it's really, really fun.
But that's nice is you break it down so it's easy. It's not gonna be overwhelming till this. It's not like you're going to be in, chef school and have to put everything perfectly. You're just gonna
No,
it's pace at your own
I'm
space.
cooking.
Yeah, and you get to use the flavors that you like and those profitable, but maybe, come in with an open mind and try some new things. You might be surprised what you like. But I think it's really cool is that, we've turned over our kitchens to, you know, fast food corporate America, right? We don't cook at home. We don't like you said, we've lost the art of the smell and the taste and understanding and deciphering, but you're gonna bring that back home to us and put it back in our kitchens, which is really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Super excited.
So, shall we take a few questions? See if anyone has any questions? Yeah. All right, guys. So let's see. I'm going to scroll through here. Does anyone have any questions for Chef Martin on the art of cooking? Looks like someone is struggling. I guess can everyone hear us and see us okay? Look like one person might have had a little problem with their internet. And do you guys have any questions around the cooking or intuitive cooking or anything like that? And so I guess one question would be, what is the first intuitive skill you think that someone would need to or want to learn in this type of
Well, I, I always go by smell and taste first, right? But then on the other hand, now you got to put it to work, right? So
Mm,
first off, slow down, right? Be in the moment, be present. Don't listen to anybody else. No street noise, no music, no nothing. Turn everything off. It's
okay.
only you and that spoonful of food in front of you.
Wow. Yeah.
And then tune really in as to what it tastes like, right? And so then it becomes so much fun. People don't understand it. I cannot think of anything more fun than actually tasting something and try to figure out, oh, is it this vinegar or is it this acid I need, or should I put a sharp vinegar in there, or or how if it's too acidic, what how do I balance that with sweetness, right? But in my
Mm,
case, it's more like fruit or something, right? I put just a little fruit there to balance that. And then if I say a rosemary on the menu, well, I wanted to taste some rosemary, right? So when I taste my first spoonful, it's really just key to tune into that very first flavor, the first time you get hit it. You don't want too much of it, right? Because you always got to think, well, I have a plate full of food. So when I eat the entire plate, yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna enjoy it,
right.
right? So if it's only a mouthful, that's one thing. But if you have to think a whole plate, a dinner plate, well, the last bite should still be as exciting.
I will tell you, it's interesting. So we were just in the Dominican Republic, and some of these flavors are unique to the Caribbean, which I was less familiar with. But we were tasting things, and around the table, people couldn't struggle. And Pat goes, "Well, if Martin was here, he tells exactly what that is." And is that was the skill set that I wish that so many more of us would have. But it was really amazing. And then when we were in Austria visiting with you and you cooked for us. What's even more beyond the flavor and the is the presentation, right? So how you cooked in your home for us and plated things and then was just shared with us that it would look beautiful, it smelled beautiful, and
You know
tasted.
what? That's all you, because you always tell me, Martin, cook with the colors, do more colors in your food. So you don't blame me, right? This is your educational part where
I
you
don't
say like, hey, put more colors in there because they have different antioxidants, and hey, step it up, Martin. So that is
step it up.
actually the influence from the medicine side.
Those words have never come out of my mouth. Step it up, Martin. If anything, it's like, come on, Laurie, shape up. But anyway, you guys, it's hilarious. But I'm really excited. I will put the link when I repost this in a little bit here. You guys, there'll be a link to the group if you like to, but definitely please, please, please at least subscribe to Martin's Substack. He puts out some really awesome stuff. Like I have so many things saved. I'm like, ooh, another thing I gotta do. Ooh, let's make this. So you guys, it's a really fun people are already commenting. They've made these recipes. They're like, "Oh my goodness, this was so good. Thank you so much." And yeah, I'm super excited to keep going. But anyway, we would love to see you there. And Martin, any last words before we jump off?
I'm just so excited to be working on this together because I think we can really do something so unique that has not been done before, right? I mean, this is think about it like 14 years ago when we worked together on these various projects and we all needed to work. It was so much harder work.
Yeah.
You cannot get it out to anybody. Now we have the technology to actually present this to anybody anywhere because
Yes.
we can do the videos. We can, if people have questions, well, we can go deeper into, I can do entire videos on questions, right?
Yes.
That's the beauty that now we have, and we can also write it down and support this with the science.
Yeah.
That is something completely new and different. And now we are able to do it. And I'm super excited for anybody who can join it.
Yeah, and really bringing together a really awesome community, which, like, for example, Marlene Skyver just joined, who was in our group and has been in our group, has done fabulously. She's helping do she's on a podcast recently with me. So those are the opportunities, right? So people who do well, I'll also invite them to come and be on the podcast if they'd like. We can write and share so many good things, but you can also, I think the really cool thing too is they can take these skills and share them with their family and friends, like what they're learning, like let the ripple continue. So it's I'm really excited about this opportunity, so, yes. All right. Well, thank you everyone and everyone who's
Thank
joined
you.
us. And if you just joined, no, don't worry. This recording will be posted in a few minutes. It's got to do its little processing. I'll put a link to Chef Martin's Substack and also to our program if you'd like to join us in our culinary healing journey. And thank you again, Martin, for your time today
All right. Greetings from Austria.
and Vegas. See you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.